So yeah, 28 years later. I have it here on 4K here. I saw it in theaters about twice. Really like this movie, guys. I am a big fan of 28 Days Later. I saw that when it came out in theaters, and I'm really happy where this movie has went. It's completely different than the original. This movie is just like a wild ride. It's fun. It's exciting. There's a lot more going on. It doesn't take anything away from the original. It's its own thing, and that's okay. A lot of people don't understand. Movie can be different, and that's an okay thing. I don't think if it was like the original, I think it would have been not as fun. Like this movie has style, and that's what I like about it. A lot of horror movies now are so dark and just kind of dull. This movie, no, it's just wild. The camera, the cinematography is really out there. The zombies are just, he does a good job of filming the zombies in their own habitat. The characters kind of act like they would in the apocalypse. They're more like fun and wild versus like boring and depressed. I kind of like that. I like movies that have flamboyant characters, and especially in a setting where it's the end of the world kind of thing, and you got zombies trying to kill you. It's more fun to see people go crazy, and then people kind of wild out in this film, and I enjoy that, and I love the end. The end to me made the movie because it made it campy and fun, and we need that more in our horror movies. I think now. I think don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great horror films that have come out in the past few years. I really like, but there's a lot where I feel that are just being too melodramatic and just kind of too. I love artsy. I love an art film, like an art horror film. But sometimes I think we're missing like fun, campy, flamboyant art horror films. And this one I really liked with 28 Years Later is that it's kind of a big budget art film. And we don't get too many of those. And I really like the mythology that they brought here. They could have just been a basic, virus thing that we've seen 100 times before. But this one has like kind of were like an evolution of these creatures. You have the alpha ones, you have the bubbly ones, the bloated ones, and it just, man, there's a lot of room to work with, and I like that. And the director wasn't afraid to take chances, and I think he knocked it out of the park. I can't wait to see the next one. Like I said, I've watched it like twice in the theater, and I bought it on 4K. It looks great on 4K. There's a lot of cool epic shots, and I think we're kind of like, I'm not saying it's the Lord of the Rings of zombie movies, but it has that feel of something big. And I like that. The shots were, it's like almost like an adventure movie on an epic scale, but with zombies in the background. And the director, he just knows how to film the kind of like the whole shaky cam thing. He does it better than anybody. The style that this guy has, 28 years later, and movies like Trainspotting, he knows how to move a camera around, and he knows how to film these zombies. These are his zombies. They try to do it with other films, but this shows you how a style of an older director can still show you why it works when you have a vision and style to back it up. And I felt like the story, I really liked the twists and turns of the story. Like when he found out that his dad was cheating on one of the girls in the town and his mom's sick, so he takes her out. I really enjoy that twist of the dynamic. I didn't see that coming. It made it personal, and you really felt for the characters, and the world felt real. That town that they lived in felt like a real town. Like I was saying with my Jaws review, That they did the same. They did a good job with this one where the town felt lived in. The people looked dirty. They looked real. They acted savage of what you would think people would act like after that many years of living on their own in their own society. And you felt that the movie's execution on that level of the people and on the level of the dynamics of the new zombies, I thought it was fun. And the end, to me, was like bringing it back to older, campier style of zombie films. And I would like to see more of that kind of just fun, bloody, big characters that almost like a comical side of a movie, because the movie already proved that it was dark. It already proved that it was emotional. But I want to see like a combination of the three sometimes, of where you can blend campy and like a serious side to a movie at the same time. So I think 28 years later just was a breath of fresh air to me. It was fun. It was watchable. Like, I can see myself watching this over again. And a lot of times with horror films that come out, even the good ones, would you watch them again and again? Some of the movies, no. But this, I can see it's in my collection now. And I can see myself having fun. And what the movie did really well, even if you didn't like the end, I can't explain why you wouldn't want to go see more of it. Because, I don't think people realize that there's more of this film. And I just saw the new trailer. I think it's called The Bone Temple. And I automatically was excited because I knew the trailer was going to look like that. Because as the movie's over, you know that there's more to it. And that's what I liked about it. It gave you the mythology. It laid out the mythology, kind of like what Lord of the Rings did. Like with the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. The first job of that first film is to lay out the mythology to the point where the viewer wants more. Not so much like a hollow feeling where, you have to realize that the movie is going to give you more if there are going to make a trilogy or not. And I guess I knew beforehand that 28 years later was going to have more, so I wasn't disappointed when it stopped. I was just like, oh man, it sucks that I have to wait 6 months for a new movie. But that's what the movie did a good job. And it was creepy. The suspense. It had fun. Like the movie was, I don't know if you ever seen Trainspotting, but the movie, you could tell that this director is from that old 90s era when you're watching this film. Like there's certain directions that he takes where there's like, it goes into different colors. It goes into like a trippy kind of like 90s drug, like acid movie. And that style resonated in this movie with some of the clips during the movie where they were showing like old films of soldiers shooting bows. There's one part where the zombies are eating a deer and it goes into like a red lighting. And he didn't have to do that. And at first I was just like, whoa, what is this? But as I'm watching it, I'm like, wow, this is kind of fun. This is, he's experimenting. He's having a good time. And he has full control of his art. And I like that. And we need more of that in a lot of movies. So I'm excited for the new one coming out in a few months. I'll be there to see it in theaters. I'm happy that this movie is out. I really think this guy, the director, has basically rejuvenated the zombie film in his world. Like 28, if you like 28 years later, or 28 days later, I would just say you're gonna like this if you're not expecting the same. But then again, they have a lot of similar things to it. Like you could tell it's the same director, but you could just tell that he was trying to do new things. And I don't think we should hold that against certain directors. I think it worked. I really think it worked. This is a fun movie. You know, I had a good time with this movie, and I can see myself watching it throughout the years. It's in my collection now, and it's a fun zombie movie. Um, and we need more different types of zombie movies, you know, and not just like what the zombies are, but we need different zombie movies when it comes to character development. You know, like I love The Walking Dead. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes you want to see even your main characters be wild out in a very different kind of like slapstick type of way, and like a different style of those older zombie movies from like the 80s, like Dawn of the Dead, which I'll do a review of the OG Dawn of the Dead, and how like I do believe you can mix in like almost like a black comedy style with these zombie films and still make them scary and just weird. We got to bring back that weird vibe that some of the older films have in these newer films. So I like the direction of this. I can't wait to see the next one. So yeah, 28 years later, to me, is a success. I like the characters. The young boy, I can't like when you walk away at the end of that movie, you can't wait to see what happens to his character and how he's going to grow, because you could relate to him. The movie's about him. The movie's not about the father. It's not about the mother. It's not about the town. It's a coming to age story of a younger kid coming into an adult in a harsh world. And if you look at it in that direction, man, I can't wait to see what they're going to do next and what this boy's going to go through, because I already can relate to the kid, and he's a likable character, and yeah, it's a very believable world, and with the alpha males and the zombies, I can't wait to see what they're going to do next with it. So yeah, I totally recommend 28 Years Later. And yeah, you should definitely check it out on the streaming channel. Or with me, I bought it on 4K. It looks beautiful on a 4K Blu-ray. It just, the shots. I know they did this with a bunch of iPhones or whatever. I'm not too, familiar on it. But it worked. Whatever they did, it looked really good. And it wasn't too, like, the movie is choppy when it has to be, but it also takes backup shots of like the woods and the town. It's long shots. So the movie feels epic, but it also feels very personal with like the characters and the acting too, the close-ups on the people. So the movie's doing a lot of fun stuff, guys. Go ahead and check this one out. 28 Years Later.